A matter of opinion. It's a matter of opinion. If I'm right, but I'm leaving no for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high. It's a matter of opinion. If I'm right, but I'm leaving no for now to go outside, putting chores and obligations on our pile. See them towering over me, know it too high.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Gary Lamb, bringing relevant content on life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. And I am here with Wally P, Erica P, and 360 Smooth from TikTok. What is up, everybody?
Hey.
Good evening. Salutations, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
What's going on?
So I'm having an issue with Rumble. I'm trying to get Rumble up here. It's saying it's an error for some reason. I don't know why.
It's saying
weird.
it's fine on this end.
Oh, you can see. Yes, it's but when I go to Rumble itself,
Oh, it's giving you a technical issue.
yeah. So it's not playing over here on Rumble. So I guess I'm gonna have to try it again.
Is the one that say trad something? Trad, I don't know.
So
it got three different things.
It's got three different things.
Yeah.
So let me end that one, and let's try it. I'm gonna work it in. I'm gonna drop down for a second. Let me just fix that real quick. Get that in there because I want them to go. Yeah, but tonight we are going to be discussing trad wives, also known as traditional wives, which is something that's coming pretty much went nuts about 5 months ago, and there's a lot of people that's still arguing about the whole pick me, and they're calling them pick me wives for whatever odd reason. And we want to discuss that because we have a lot of women who can't compete with this young lady that is showing how to really be a traditional wife. And I also have her page up here on TikTok. We're going to be funneling through that as well. But here's a quick little clip of women saying that they don't like the idea of traditional wives.
I want to thank this commenter along with everyone else who's interacting with this video, but I wanted to talk about this particular comment. This is 100% accurate. So I want all of us to think about, especially those of us who grew up in super religious or conservative circles, I want us to think about the trad wives that we know and how old they are and what they look like. There are not older trad wives. There are very few older trad wives. There are trad wives that are in their 20s and that are trying to escape this lifestyle now in their 30s. They get married when they're fresh out of high school or in their early 20s. They leave college, they leave their education, they leave their career, or they never start a career, so they never gain their footing. There is not older trad wives because their husbands don't love them. They don't like them and they don't care about them. They don't respect them as humans, and they don't want to be married. And the older trad wives that we do see are women like Michelle Duggar, who her entire life has literally been her being complicit in the abuse and subjugation of other women. Not even just for her husband, but also for her predator son. Her whole life has consisted of enabling and allowing not only her husband to abuse, but then the other men in her life, her son, to also perpetuate that cycle and abuse. And Michelle Duggar has used her position to trap other women into being trad wives. And that's how she gains and keeps favor with her husband. So I like this comment because older trad wives get thrown out on their ass all the time. A lot of the time, especially if you travel in evangelical circles or groups or a part of the deconstruction community, a lot of the time these wives are made to leave by their adult children because some of these adult children grow up and deconstruct and realize how problematic their childhoods were and how they've literally seen their mother being abused their whole lives. Or the woman just gets tossed out on her ass. There is a reason why you don't see 40 and 50-year-old trad wives on this app. There is a reason why all the trad wives you see are women in their 20s and 30s talking in that Sadie Robertson, Candace Cameron Bure, Duggar, sticky, sweet, high-pitched voice that mimics a child, wearing Laura Ingalls Wilder dresses, skipping around like airheads and pretending that they're stupid. There's a reason why they're all in their 20s and 30s and you don't see older women on here being trad wives, because older women spend all their time and energy cautioning young women against getting married and against submitting to men.
Who wants to take this off? You want me to start? Y'all want me to
Oh,
start?
sweet Jesus.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let Eric go on this one. How you feel about that one? Because I got a couple of things I gotta say about this crazy wacko job that we call wow. Just go ahead.
So I will tell you, I feel like people who do choose to be a traditional wife a lot of times grew up in those environments. Yes. Do I feel that a traditional wife is going to work for everybody? No. But I will tell you, for the most part, I am a traditional wife. I grew up like that. I wanted to raise my family like that. And it may be by circumstance, it may be the fact that I like doing everything. You just have some people who think that's what they are supposed to do. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to not do the stuff that I believe in as well. I'm not going to just say, hey, tomorrow I'm just drop everything that I want to pursue for happiness. I'm just incorporate it all together because I don't feel like a mom, a wife can't be all the same things. They could be whatever that person wants them to be. You could be either as busy and overscheduled as I am sometimes, or you could be non-existent. It's your choice. Just like how Miss Lamb always say, it's your house and what work at your house work for you. Well, that's what I feel like a wife is supposed to be. I married somebody who allowed me to be that kind of wife because I did grow up in a traditional household. I didn't grow up in a super religious household, but yes, you had your traditional values. That's what was a part of my upbringing. That's what's going to be a part of my kids' upbringing. Do I tell my girls, hey, don't go do what you want to do? No. But I do tell them to look at the circumstances logically. If it makes sense, then you do it. If I know my spouse got to work 3 jobs for me to stay home, we might have to revisit that circumstance. Hey, if I take on a part-time gig, will it help relieve some of your stress? Will it help relieve some of that burden off of you? Because somebody in my head has to be with the kids at all times. So if the kids are school age, then I'll work during them school hours. If the kids are not school age, then guess what? Somebody gonna have to be in the house with them until the next person can relieve them. So I do feel like that was a little clickbaitish because no, everybody does not do that in their early 20s. And you can't say there are no traditional wives in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s because guess what? My grandparents did it. My parents did it. I can prove on one end or another. I think I'm trying to do somewhat more traditional because I'm not a modern person when it comes to certain things because maybe sometimes in my head I feel like it don't get done right if I'm not the one doing it.
Right. I agree with that. I can understand that. So you do think this is a little clickbaitish, huh?
I do. Because I feel like people who are not wives all the times may say certain things to get other people on their side. I don't know. It's because they trying to level out the playing field a little bit, maybe get rid of some of their competition. I don't know. But
Do
no,
you
that's
really
not
think women
always
do
the case.
that? Do women really do, Erica P, as a woman, Do you really feel that women do those kind of things trying to get rid of competition?
I do.
Can you
I
please
really
explain
do.
why you think that?
The reason that I think that is because if you start talking to other women, they're not always trying to bring you up. They're not trying to look at what you're going through and be like, "Hey, baby, I went through that. You might not want to do that." You have more women who don't say anything to the next generation than you do the ones of yesteryear.
Hmm.
A lot of times you got women who don't even really have a legit person to ask questions to without their answers being jaded, without them being truthful. Because you can't tell me that the women of today are going to continue going the track that they're going without talking to other people, without somebody pulling them to the side, be like, "Baby, you need to slow that down a little bit." But if people aren't saying it, guess what? It's not going to change.
What do you feel, Wally P?
I'm still gathering my thoughts, so
Let's
somebody,
pass the 360. What
yeah,
you
pass
feel?
it to
360.
360. Yeah.
Okay. The only valid thing that sister actually said was the fact that significantly older women, women who are somewhere in their, say, maybe very late 30s to maybe 50s, are exactly the women who are discouraging younger women from entering these types of marital relationships. That's the only thing that she said was actually true. And it's the only reason why that's true is we're talking about arguably the freaknik generation, the
Mm.
women who are most directly affected by second, third, and possibly even, well, no, I would say second and third wave feminism, and they're the instrument of fourth wave feminism. There's generations, there's levels to this nonsense, and they've moved so far away from what the traditional uh, wife template is even like. They they don't even know what it looks like anymore. So, case in point, this woman, this woman is claiming that the women in their 20s are somehow
Your volume
traditional
went
women.
down.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah.
We got you back.
Okay, sorry, I got a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
So these women, well, that particular woman is claiming that these young women in their 20s are somehow traditional women and that somehow that they're losing out. But keep in mind, this is a woman who says that she doesn't even see traditional women amongst her peer group. Well, as our fellow guest right here is a perfect example. Yes, traditional women do exist in this particular peer group. She doesn't frequent that particular circle with those types of women. She don't hang around traditional women. She hangs around other toxic, misandrous, so-called modern women like herself. So how would she ever be in a position to be an authority or a judge on that type of lifestyle? And you can tell that she doesn't even participate in it herself, that she's not a product of the traditional environment. The only thing she said was that she grew up going to church,
Right.
and there's all kind of messed up people going to church.
True.
that's
I mean,
that is
hey,
no
I can
that's
agree
no
with you on that.
measurement. That's look, it's like there's an old saying, church is not for the saints, it's for the sinners. That's who
Yes.
church is for. So if you're gonna judge all of your decision making processes about church based off of the fact of who's going and who's not going, well, you're already kind of pissing in the wind from the start.
That's
But
true.
as she mentioned, uh, just the behaviorisms of these men. She said that these men don't even see their wives as human. What? How, how do we even get to the marital process if these men are behaving like scumbags from the very beginning? I mean,
That will make you think that the women are absolutely bonkers in their head.
Okay. So she's picking on a certain group of women, though. When you
Right.
look at the ones that she targeted, they are of a certain religion. they grow up like that. And I think I feel like people are gravitating more to those because they're the ones that are bringing the cameras into their lifestyle. You think of the Duggars, they brought the cameras in. So people are
Now,
going to talk about them, but that was their lifestyle based off of their religion. That's
now
like
for clarity, the Dugars, that's a polyamorous family, right? A polygamous family.
no. So they're a little different. Those are the Duggars. Give me 2 seconds because I'm drawing a blank, but like I can remember their show. It was like 19 kids or and counting, something like that. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he was like a former Arkansas House representative or something like that. But his circumstance was 19 kids and counting. So it was you're based off of your religion, you're supposed to be fruitful and all of this kind of stuff. So she had kids the same time some of her kids were having kids.
Mhm.
But for their lifestyle, it was, keep very traditional Baptist Christian household, ran it, pretty strict to the T.
Mhm.
But there was some things that started coming out later on in life about him, his one of the older sons. Um, so it like they weren't being as religious as they were supposed to be.
Mhm.
Is
Hmm.
realistically what it was. So I think it was like molestation charges popped up like in the early 2000s, and I know they ended up getting kicked off the show. I think the kids, kept the show going on just for themselves to still generate income and things like that. But you started hearing too many things that came out on their particular situation. But
Mhm.
it was their biggest plight was the fact that they had all of these kids, very religious, kept minimal social media access and all of that kind of stuff.
So, in other words, we have that particular woman in that other video using the individual experiences of a particular couple and using that to bash an entire segment of women across the country who actually want to get married.
Yeah. But in the
Basically.
in the case of this mom, like she was to the extreme though. When you got 19 kids, your life is dedicated to 19 kids.
Mhm.
And homeschooling, and when you got that many, where they all in school at the same time. So it's like you either created your own schools or you done took over just about half a classroom in most cases, when you have them step laddered. So I'm like, and I think people look at that as like, oh well, this is the book for everything, and it's not. It really isn't. You have some people that think you're either all the way to the extreme where you have to be super structured. This is what a traditional wife is, or it's non-existent. And I feel like that's not always the case.
Hmm.
I don't think they even know what a traditional wife is, and I think that's what the initial mistake is. They think that a traditional wife is just this woman who blindly follows the instructions or leadership of a man, as if there was no courtship process, as if she didn't get a chance to pick the man that she actually married, as if she's just following the instructions of just some dumb loser who she never got to know. And
Right.
that's just not the case. I mean, we're not living in the times of arranged marriages, or at least that's not part of the American subculture. You get ladies get you the ladies get to pick who they marry. That,
They
that
do.
that's why it's a proposal. The man proposes, will you be my wife? And she can say yes or no. It's not like be my wife, damn it.
Right. I mean, it could be that way, but it's not. So Wally P, are you ready before I go to
Yeah,
Toya? You ready
yeah,
to rock?
yeah,
All right, cool.
yeah. I'm ready to rock. Here's the thing, man. Like, listening to this woman's rhetoric, like, these are the most dangerous women.
Mhm.
We're in an age now where you can just grab your phone, go on the internet, say whatever it is. Nobody's gonna fact check it. Nobody's gonna do any type of research or anything. They're gonna take it as gospel, and that, my friends, is a problem. I guarantee you, this woman probably did not grow up in a household, two-parent household, or if she did, like maybe the parents are divorced or something like that, whatever the case may be. But a lot of these women never experienced marriage or anything like that. They get their ideas of marriage from watching The Color Purple or some shenanigan like that, and then just make that as that's the everyday common practice. And even now, when you look into the news of divorces and stuff going on, what do you hear in a lot of these cases? The man was faithful, he did everything, but she just wanted to live her best life or whatever the case may be.
She wasn't
Just like
happy.
just like look at the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Hearst. For years, people thought this dude was trash or whatever. Come to find out, he wasn't. It was her. And women will listen to another woman speak and take it as gospel. Like straight up gospel. I was down the TikTok rabbit hole earlier, and a woman was talking about how women need to basically submit, so to speak, if they're looking to be if they want, men to protect them. Nothing in life, you will not protect anything in life if you don't have control over it.
Right.
And some woman came on that woman, stitched that woman's video and was like, yo, this is what's wrong. The patriarchy, we need to dismantle this, all of this stuff, talking all this crap. And then she went into talking about the woman that got hit with a brick. She literally said, this woman got hit with a brick. I don't care for anything else that transpired. All I know is she got hit with a brick, and it stopped right there. That's all she needed to hear, and just threw everything out the window. And that's how a lot of these women move. They'll see a woman go on social media, say something, and they take it as gospel, and it stops right. The buck stopped there.
Yep.
And it's infecting women that are happy because they're thinking the grass is green on the other side. And when you see a lot of these women who wind up getting these divorces, a lot of times they come back saying, yo, I regret that I got this divorce.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
I should have stayed where I was because it's trash out here.
Terrible. But see,
Exactly.
here's what I think. I think a lot of times they're after the men that they're trying to get you out, get you away from. I
Yeah.
really do, because it's like, well, if I can move in on this dude right here, I just got to get rid of her, and this is why my wife, this is why we keep a lot of our friends very, very far away, because
Mhm.
it's like you don't really know who's gunning for whom, right? You just don't
Facts.
know.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of these women, they want you to be just as miserable as they are. And for the life of me, I don't understand why that is. I just don't. Like, I don't think like that. But a lot of the times they just want you to be as miserable as them. And it's like they just like, well, if I can't be happy, nobody can be happy. That mentality.
Well,
And
well,
it's
that's
crazy.
that. There's
Chris
a
Rock
reason for
said,
that.
let me just say this. Chris Rock said it best. If I see Gary got a woman and she's treating him right, I'm like, yo, I need a woman like that. Women turn around and see a dude doing his right thing. I need that man.
Mhm.
Not I need a dude like him. I need that man.
I
But
need
yeah, go
him.
ahead, Smooth. Yeah.
One of the things that modern American women don't want to admit is that with respect to relationships, they are lazy. They are
Mm,
truly lazy.
mm.
Because think about it. To say that these women have such high standards, there is no shortage of side chicks out here.
That's
And the
true.
only reason why the
That is
side
very
chick
true.
exists is because, as far as she's concerned, another woman has already done all the legwork with respect to vetting a particular man.
All I gotta do is
Ooh.
open my legs.
The married woman has already validated the man. She's the one who's dated the man, who's met his family, who's been through trials and tribulations with him, who after all this not only decided to marry this man because of the inherent value that he has, but stays married because of the value he continues to produce and bring to the relationship. So that's why when these ladies see the married men Well, there's no, like I said, there's no shortage of side chicks. A married man can get a woman faster than a single man.
Oh my God! Talk. Listen, we're gonna pass it over to Toya, but you ain't lying on that point right there, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't understand it. It's like this thing
Me-
right here is a magnet.
Remember we played that.
Magnet. Like
Remember
it's
we
just
played
like
that short clip. Remember we played that short clip
which
of
one? Which
women
one? Which
saying,
one?
women that they ask them, "Yo, would you rather deal with a man that tell you no
Yeah,
40%
yeah.
of the time, or a
Or a
married
married
man
man that would
that
tell you,
tell
yeah,
you
no, I'll
yes?"
rather married man
Yeah.
to tell me, yeah. I'm like, bro, like this is crazy.
And just to go based off what Smooth said, of course the married man is going to tell you yes because you're just a plaything. He doesn't care for anything that's going to benefit you.
Nope.
If
And
you want,
if she gets mad and leaves him, well, who
What did he
cares? He'll
lose?
just go find another one.
yeah,
They're,
What did
I'm
they're
he
gonna
so
say
lose?
bountiful.
replacement already lined up for him,
Right.
already there.
Thank you. You took care of my dirty work. What's up, baby?
I'm over here cracking up actually. I would love to see that clip. I'll remember that one. Yeah, this lady, like there's actually a little bit more to the clip and we were listening to this woman and apparently some of her 20, late 20, early 30 friends are like they were so miserable. They gave up their careers and they became trad wives, quote unquote, this new ridiculous, there's always a corner phrase for something. And so they're miserable and they got divorced and whatever the case. I don't know if that's just like her four friends or what, because majority of the women that are out today in the 20 somethings for the most part, they are out here living their entire best lives. They're not thinking about nobody's husband. They are doing them and doing it well and don't want nothing to do with nobody's husband in marriage. And if they do, to the point that y'all brought up, they have no problem with being the side chick. He's been vetted, he's safe, he's taking care of his family. And because she's not interested in giving up her independence, because it's all about the independence with this alien of today, then they're perfectly fine with taking the 10% of the 20% because they're not interested in giving 100 anyway. So with whatever she's brought up with the Duggars, and I mean, she went like I mean, way far left with her examples. I mean, the Duggars, they're a part of a different sect of religious people and very, highly religious. And I agree with you, the church is for the sinner. And at the end of the day, that's their life. That's what they chose to do. That's the way that their upbringing is, and everyone in their community. The kids date in groups and the whole bit. And Mennonite communities are like that. A lot of Amish are like that. There's many communities that are like that, but it's like she took the extreme of the extreme to make her point. And like you said, Wally, I think that it is infectious and it is toxic, because here you have this woman who's clearly not looking. I mean, she doesn't come off as wife material to me,
Not even close.
um not
Not
even
even a
a little
little
bit.
bit.
And
No.
like you said, Smooth, I'm like, well, like a lot of women in this conversation, they bring all of this rhetoric to the table because they know that they have nothing else to offer a husband. What are you bringing to the table that makes you such a viable, asset to some man that he would want to bring you onto his life? So since you know the real deal, then it's like, oh, well, let's just argue about it, bring in the Duggars, like they're anywhere near your reality. Let's just, go real far fetched, because the truth of the matter is not many men are going to be, vouching for these women. They don't want her, and they don't want no woman like her.
Nope.
So let's just use the Duggars and use the Amish and use these people that have nothing to do with their reality. This
Not
woman
even a
went,
little bit.
not even like, they went on to talk, she went on to talk about like her career, and she's establishing her career. And don't get me wrong, like I do believe that the pastor that married us almost 20 years ago, he said that, like, you do what works for you in your house, let them do what works for them in their house, and let it be. You know what I mean? If it works for you, whatever works for y'all is what works for y'all. If you're both career people, hey, we've done it. I get it. Do what works for y'all. But at the end of the day, a lot of the women are today, they're not trying to give up none of their independence. It's
Nope.
all about what she wants. And if this, and I'm gonna say fool, because only a fool is gonna agree to a woman and getting on her page when he's supposed to be leading the family, leading her. Only a fool would be okay with that, jump to it just for the sake of saying that he has a wife, but really she is his. roommate, and you're not about to tell that woman to do nothing.
Mm-mm.
Nothing. She's not gonna listen to you. She's not gonna consider your opinion. She's not, because most women today, when they're in this conversation, they are very much independent. I don't understand how you independent and married. It's oxymoron to me, but it's like they're of a different planet. I mean, I don't even know how to describe this thing that's out today. It's very
Mhm.
toxic. It's very, counterintuitive. It's very counterproductive. And she's spewing what a lot of women spew when they know the real deal. At best, you're a side piece for Thursday. At best.
Mm.
I digress on that.
And I have a question. So, isn't the current stereotypical narrative that black men barely want the kids that they actually do have? And yet, this woman is trying to make a comparison between black men, presumably, and somebody like the Dugals that have 19. If the brothers don't want one or two, how you gonna compare somebody with like 19?
Good question. Good
I mean,
question.
weeks.
Like, cause I'm not. When you said 19, I was like 19.
Woo!
What, fingers and toes? Like, what? What you mean? Like, that's a lot of freaking kids. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, bruh, pull out. Like, what's wrong with you?
Bruh.
Like,
But yeah,
so,
But it's not
look,
even just
look,
that though. You got to think about it. With some of the ultra religious groups, they don't believe in
Birth
contraceptives. They
control.
don't believe
They
in
don't
birth
believe in it.
control. They don't believe in any of this stuff. So if it's basically, if it happens, it happens.
oh my god.
But here's the thing though. What was she truly speaking specifically about that segment of the population that is part of that type of specific religious sect, or was she using them as an example to then stretch out and generalize about an entire generation of
I
women?
think she was trying to make.
I
She was
think
making an
that
example. Yeah.
I think she was using them as an example. So what she was doing was she was picking out the most religious cultures
Mhm.
because, like
So
I said,
gaslighting. So she was gaslighting.
She was
gaslighting
gaslighting.
her for her gain. Basically, is what I'm
Well, yeah,
to
thinking.
that's
make
what
it
they do,
to make
right?
it
They
fit her narrative, to make it fit her
exactly.
narrative.
That's
And,
exactly what they do.
and this is why we don't move forward as a collective, because we have folks like her that will sit there and overly generalize over these minute speaking points or pieces of rhetoric to somehow incriminate or somehow bash the entire collective of everybody, and then presume to be some type of authority as they say that nonsense. And
Mhm.
then, unfortunately, because they're pandering to people who actually have a hunger for that, then they accept that misinformation and then run with it as if it's gospel facts.
Oh, I got one better for you. I got one better for you. You ready to rock? I got one
Yeah.
for better for you. Let's go.
Personality Steven Crowder announced his divorce, and in retaliation, his ex-wife released disturbing footage of the emotional abuse she endured in their marriage. I'm sure that when she married a Nazi sympathizer who debates people's civil rights for fun, that she never expected she would be treated like a racial minority in her own home. But that's the thing about men who demand submission. They will expect you to take on the role and the degradation of the lowest castes in society within your four walls. You can dress up submission and toxic gender roles all you like. You can sprinkle your way into a man's heart and out of a job. But just know that a man obsessed with power dynamics and dominion isn't offering you the opportunity to stay at home because he cares about you. It's because he's salivating at the idea of controlling your bank account. And sure, there are men out there who are absolutely loving, egalitarian, kind partners to their stay-at-home wives. But those men are differentiated because they don't think their wives are indentured servants. And these men are easy to spot because they don't treat women's domestic labor as their divine right. I feel this deep, overwhelming sadness when I see women my age, and for context, I'm 25, who brag that they get all these things in exchange for the small price of their submission because I know the next 20 years are going to hold horrors that not even Stephen King can dream of. How Steven Crowder's ex-wife was treated, pregnant, begging for car keys while he laughed and taunted her, instructing her to get on hands and knees, drag her swollen belly across the hot pavement to perform a demeaning task and potentially dangerous to her pregnancy while he chuckled and smoked a cigar, that's your future. They want your humiliation, they want your tears, and it's made all the more sweeter because you'll be pregnant and therefore at your physical weakest. Wanting a partner who is a second-class citizen in your home is the sign of a sick freak who's going to spend your entire marital life torturing you. Choose wisely.
Oh,
Really?
wait, what?
She's taking that situation and trying to say that's how everybody's
Wait,
First of all,
marriage.
she
oh,
said the woman. He said he was demanding, expecting her to get on her fours and crawl around on her pregnant belly on hot coals because it was a summer day. I got the clip here so you can watch it
wait,
yourself,
Gary,
but I want you guys to talk about this
hold on,
first.
hold on. Before you even show the clip, Gary, didn't Serena Williams compete as a tennis player while still pregnant?
Mm, but she's an
And
She
the-
athlete.
did.
yeah, and
Athlete.
She's an athlete, though.
Oh,
Naomi Osaka was practicing and training while she was pregnant for tennis also.
don't we see women still literally going to the gym and powerlifting while pregnant?
Okay. In that defense, though, these are usually people who were doing that before they were pregnant. They didn't just
Not,
start doing it as they
not,
were
But
pregnant
no,
not,
no,
sometime.
no, no,
no,
no.
ma'am. Not
Doctors,
necessarily. That's not necessarily
doctor,
true.
doctors
That they,
tell you when you're pregnant, it's healthy to exercise.
Correct. Healthy
Because
to
that's
exercise,
gonna
but you're not
no,
gonna
that's
catch
gonna
me powerlifting
that
if I ain't never do that before though.
yeah,
Right.
okay,
nah. If
okay,
you never did,
but
but here's the thing: if you go to the doctor and you find out you're pregnant and you started the journey of powerlifting, you're able to powerlift. Soon as you find out you are, they recommend you do that stuff because it's gonna make your pregnancy and for your childbirth delivery that much better and easier.
make that snapback a lot better.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. But like I said, it's within reason. I ain't
Now,
just going
but
out there. I
okay,
ain't just going
but
out
No, but
there.
you
that's
know what?
why I
You know
said
what? That's fine, sister. I will give you that within reason. Now, exactly what within reason would this husband be asking this woman to get on her hands and knees to even do? She's not. I seriously doubt that he was asking her to do something that particularly strenuous that
Mhm.
would equate to what we're talking about right here.
No,
No, I
it,
I
don't
it
don't
think
know.
it
didn't
was.
sound anything like that. He wanted her to give something to the dog.
Oh,
Um, it's if we're on the
But
outside looking in, I mean, like, it's a crazy situation. Yes, she's very, very pregnant. But I'm like listening to the stuff that he's saying. It's a crazy video. It is. It's anyone in any marriage is like, okay, what happened before that to
mhm,
lead up to that? That's my questions. And he didn't tell her to crawl on her hands and feet and scrape her belly on the pavement and feed a dog. Like this girl, this is a perfect example of how far fetched some of these women are. Like she went to the nth degree and like she fabricated some stuff. That's not even what was being said.
Not even
It
close.
is it is a daunting video and clearly something wrong with this man. I'm not gonna say nothing's not wrong with him, but we're on the outside looking in. We don't know what was going on in that situation. That day, that was the tape that she decided to videotape. We don't know.
mhm.
I think I saw that video too, and when I saw it, I was like reading up, but I don't remember all the details on what happened. But yeah, play the clip. But that just lets you know that the way this woman was fabricating, that's what I was basically getting at earlier. People will grab a camera, go on social media, say whatever Reddit, and nobody are fact checking these people.
Nope.
Nobody's doing no type of research to, yo, let me see what she's talking about. Let me go look for that clip. And literally, that technology is in your hand. What you just used to look at that clip, it'll take you 5 seconds to do a quick research just to see.
Yep.
Right.
But people
She's calling
refuse
them
to do that.
indentured servants and Nazi
Yes.
sympathizers, and I'm like, really, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's always run first and ask questions later. People need to do their own research.
And the
But
thing that sounds so stupid about it too is if you was in this relationship with this person and you knew this person was XYZ, what they're saying, why even stay with that person? And you sit
Why,
there and say,
why
"Oh,
marry them?
I was being a good wife." No, you stupid. If you saw all these red flags and everything, and you still chose to like people will give you the benefit of the doubt for certain things, but when the red flags are just that glaring, it's like, no, you're dumb. I'm sorry.
Hold up. Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
I drew a boundary. I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries. There is no groceries. I do have steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it.
Pause that real quick.
Now, right there,
Right
he's-
there.
he's go ahead.
If he literally said, "Yo, you're not doing, your part of the bargain on what we agreed upon, and I got to do these things," then why do you need the vehicle? Like, if you're going out and what you're going out to do does not contribute to anything in this household, and what I need to use the car for is contributing to this household, who do you think's gonna win? Pregnant or not? Unless you tell me you got to go to a doctor's appointment or some shenanigan like that for the child, whatever. What are you going to do that's going to usurp me bringing groceries into this house? Going out to bring groceries into this house, pregnant or not.
Yep.
And you could tell the frustration is there because guys don't just get frustrated. Like, this is something that was built over time that I kept telling your ass, but you didn't want to listen.
We also don't know what happened before then either.
Right.
And
That's
I think
what we're
that's
saying. There was
the other
definitely a
part of the
built up
clip.
to anger right there. That's what he's saying. So
Yeah,
for
that's
him
what
to be
I'm
saying it like this
Yes.
is like he's
Yes.
already frustrated now. Like,
Mhm.
why? This is the part they started the video. You know what I mean?
Right.
They didn't lead up to it at all.
That's why I
See,
said, okay, so this is the part that they aired. She decided to tape this, and this is what's aired, but we don't know what happened.
And
and
then you
see,
keep
I'll say,
going
man,
with it.
look, think about it. He said, I want wood pellets and steaks for the grill. He said it's going to be a warm day. I want to cook. Maybe she was supposed to go to the supermarket 3 days ago and forgot. I don't know.
well,
But my thing is, there's too many. Fine. I got you one better. You want me to Instacart you these steaks with these wood pellets? So your
Mhm.
food will be here in 20 minutes. I'm going to
Mhm.
go take the car. Resolution
Mhm.
solved.
Because what
see,
was the conversation? What was because he said you're not doing if you're not going to do wifely things.
Yes,
It doesn't sound to me that that's the first time that he said that to her.
exactly. And I'm not gonna allow you to do Instacart. I'm not gonna do no Instacart either because that's still making somebody else do your duties.
It's true.
Just
see,
for
this
the
is what
fact. Go ahead, Smooth.
this is why in situations like this, even though we don't necessarily have all the information beforehand, there's so much context that we can actually glean from just the interaction that they have between each other. Because one with another, whether people realize it or not, even when they try to paint this grand image of themselves with the hope of trying to besmirch the other person, they actually tell on themselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from the sounds of it, I think this lady's going to tell on herself one way or another.
All right, go ahead
Let's
with
go.
there's more of the video. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hillary, how do you respect a woman? Yeah. How do you man? How do you man receive love and respect? No. How do you man No, you're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You are not.
then I will ask how much is the food. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not correct, Stephen.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Stephen, I can't.
Feeling some constraints?
Stephen.
Like, I can't
Stephen.
go. Listen to me.
See,
Listen to me.
see,
You want to walk out right
see.
now? Listen to me. I can't go to the
He
gym.
even
I
left
can't go to my
an
parents.
ultimatum. He even left an ultimatum. She felt like the minute he said, "Yo, I'll give you an Uber," what person would not agree or concede to that?
Well,
It's like, yo, I gave you an ultimatum.
I got you on. I think that video is old because think
Oh, it's
about what he
definitely old.
said.
No, it is old.
But think
It
about
is.
it. I think it was probably during the height of
They're getting ready
19.
to divorce.
No, not the divorce itself though.
You
But
could
think
say
about it.
COVID. What you saying?
Think about it.
19
It
for?
gotta be old. He said, I can't go see my parents. I can't go to the gym.
No.
Was the
No, he's talking
That's-
about if she
he
takes the
was saying she
car,
takes the call.
He
I'm talking
can't
about
go
the
anywhere.
car. Yes.
See, I don't know. Like, it was weird because I'm like, each person is gonna, figure
No.
it out on their own because
If
of
No,
their own
no,
basis.
no.
I'm sorry.
He said if she takes the car, then he won't be able to do those things. That's what he said.
Okay.
Here's the thing. If we negotiated on what I'm supposed to do and what you're supposed to do, and you're not upholding your end of the bargain, yes, you're not taking the car.
Well,
Especially I'm
actually,
making the payments and stuff like nah, I'm sorry. Mm-mm.
Now, you don't think that's a little barbaric to do, though, Wally? I mean,
Do I
because think
think it's
about this
not
for a second.
barbaric?
Well, think about this for a second. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're expecting her to go and do these chores for you, right?
Yes.
We don't know why she didn't do it. We don't know. All we know is he wants them done. She's like, all right, I'll do it. And then he's like, well, you can't take the car. Like, at this point, he's like, I'm done. No, he doesn't want her to do it anymore. He's
Yeah,
like, no, I'm gonna do it. You
well,
I
don't
actually,
agree
see
I
with
it
think
him.
as
I agree with him. The reason why is because you're just telling me you'll do it just so you can get the car. And I don't see it as it would be barbaric if I didn't offer a Uber. Hey, you want to go out? I'll pay for the Uber and you take the Uber back, but the car stays here.
well, here's
That's
something you
not
didn't
barbaric
notice.
to me. Yeah.
Something you all didn't notice.
Hmm.
Even in that part of the conversation, when she says, "Well, fine, I'll I'll call somebody to come get me. Who do you want me to call?"
hmm.
And he responds, "I'll
Yes.
get you." He says, "I'll get you an Uber."
Yeah.
I think that's a
And
little controllish though, because
no,
if
no,
I'm
no,
leaving, it
ma'am,
don't it,
ma'am,
it shouldn't matter
no,
who I'm
hold up, hold
calling
up,
though.
hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up,
You only
hold up.
say that
See,
to a man.
you're about to miss it
Yep.
again. You're
Yep.
about to miss it
Yep.
again.
I know where you're going with it.
She said, "Who do you want me to call?" He said, "I'll call you an Uber."
And
And
she said, I can't.
her response was an immediate shutdown.
Yeah,
So
she wasn't gonna
Mm.
do it. Hmm.
so he actually gave her a very credible, applicable solution, and she refused it. But the question then becomes, then why? What's the difference between her calling somebody to come get her and him calling somebody to come get her? Because it's not about that. It's about the spectacle. She wanted
Mm.
to involve somebody else into their business, somebody
Hmm.
that they're both familiar with.
Yeah.
And he cut that to the quick. Nah, I'll send you an Uber. And she wasn't trying to hit it. She shut that down. So it wasn't even about necessarily the transportation.
See, and
So
I guess that's
so
the thing
so
though. That part didn't even dawn on me. It was, hey, I need to go such and such place.
Mhm.
It, I
but
guess in my
you're
head, it's
you're
I'm
you're
if
taking
missing
I'm
people
some
if
telling
you're
I'm
us that.
missing you're missing something else too. He gave a solution to the problem and she ended negotiations. So if she
Yep.
could do that and she's really trying to get to someplace, how do you think she also negotiates when it comes to doing stuff around the house? Because
Uh-huh.
I guarantee
Mm.
you, the only reason why it came to the chores because there was an end goal where she's like, "Yes, I'll do the chores after I come back,
And
after I take the car."
he
And
had
he
already
already
said it from
into
the
the
beginning.
game.
From the very beginning, he said
Yep,
that she does not demonstrate respect for him. He said that.
yeah,
facts.
I heard that part.
Because why would that happen right in the middle of that conversation? They're talking about steaks, and then he goes, "What do you respect a man?" And he started to ask these probing,
Yep.
people saying it's berating questions, but he asked it at that moment. Why? He
Because
said,
he
"You don't
probably
do
felt that
wifely
way.
things." Yes, I tell this. There's no way that this is the first conversation they had about this.
And did y'all ever look at it from this angle too? The fact that she knew the ring camera was there, she's
That's what
acting different and
right.
not showing her
Mm-hmm.
her true colors on how
Mhm.
disrespectful she actually can be.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he
But
didn't fall for it. He did not take that bait. He maintained, up to this point at least, he maintained some level of decorum. And
mm-hmm.
they're just having a back and forth. They're, obviously they don't agree, but so far the conversation hasn't gotten way left
Wow,
field
that
and
way.
disrespectful.
Mhm.
Let's continue.
call my friends. I can't be home. You're gonna take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No.
I'll be back when I'm back. I'll be back when I'm back. I'll be back when I'm back.
3 hours and 45 minutes later,
For some
Yeah,
steak.
I'll
still
be
no
back next
steaks.
week after I go visit my mom. I'll be back next week.
Now, do you realize that when I first saw this, I was completely against Crowder? But then I started
Wow.
thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I've been in that situation myself, and I've experienced that myself in a situation where I felt like I wasn't being heard. Okay. But all I saw was pregnant Bailey and Crowder going after this woman. That's all I saw.
And
So
that's
it's
how a lot
easy
of
to
women
jump
see it.
that it's easy to jump on the side. Now, don't get it
Mhm.
twisted. I understand where the because they're married. We married couples do this all the time.
Mhm.
I get all that. But think about how much people are in an uproar on Steven because of this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of people coming after him because of this video because a lot of women are not married. They haven't been married. They don't know the dynamics of a marriage. They don't know how women operate in a marriage. So how would they be able to see this for what it really is? As an argument. You know what I mean?
And like you said, continue on, but like you said, the thing that stands out where you automatically don't make anything he say credible is the pregnant belly.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Women that are pregnant get so much benefit of the doubt where they can do no wrong.
Yep.
Continue on, Gary.
Well, you just stole my thunder. I was going to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You know,
Hey,
I,
that at least that mean we here with it though. At least we
we
here with
definitely
it.
here. We here, but
Yeah.
don't be here while I'm talking though. Like, stop
But
that.
but you notice
My bad.
a-
My
a-
bad.
as you say that, we still live in a society that still professes women's strength, especially the strength related to them being these super women, even during the times of their vulnerability, such as being pregnant. But yet, however, when it suits them to play the victim role or to be seen as in a position to be given this benefit of the doubt, or they latch on to that.
Of course.
Because
I
she
mean,
does that in
of
this
course.
video.
You could
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
tell that's her MO. You
I
could
mean,
I
tell.
not only is that their MO, that's where their strength. That's how they get you to back down, right?
Yeah,
So you
because
can't get
it's this weird kind of dual living where, on the one hand, they are the poor
yes.
Vestal Virgin victim who needs saving from random men just because of the simple fact that she's a woman. But then on the other hand, she's Xena Warrior Princess.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember I read this article. A pregnant woman got on the bus or whatever, right? And a dude was sitting down and she looked at him like, yo, could I have the seat? And he was like, yo, I'm not getting up from my
No.
seat. And everybody threw him under the bus. So when they interviewed him, he was like, yo, man, I just worked a 12-hour shift standing on my feet, lifting up boxes, doing warehousing. Like, yo, I wasn't getting up. I didn't tell her to get pregnant. So that's her choice.
That was
I
her
was
choice.
not getting up from my seat. And
I
I
was
was like,
tired.
yo, as disrespectful as it could come off, it's true. You don't know what this man did for him to now give up his seat to you. Like, yo, whoever knocked you up should have put you in a car. Should have
And
gave
was
Listen,
he
you
the
the car.
only
So you're
man on
not
the bus?
listen, or the only
exactly.
person on the bus.
And
Why
he
didn't you ask
wasn't.
another woman to give up her seat?
Exactly.
Why are you asking the man?
Equality.
Exactly. I was
Like,
cracking up when he said that.
man, listen, I would have been right with like, hey, man, listen, there's only one person on this planet. Okay, that's not true. There's a group of women that get chivalry from me, but only one in particular. She's right there. That's it. Nobody else gets chivalry. Can I get your seat? Sure. When I get up off the bus, you can have it all you want. I'm 3
Look,
stops away. You can get it in 3
look,
stops.
look. I'll have it nice and warm for you.
You're
Yeah.
dang right. It might be a little smelly, but it's a bus. What can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what can you do?
That's
Or
funny.
either. You'll be back when you're back. It doesn't work either. Do
I
you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Student.
And making it feel like the only way out of this It's discipline and respect. It's the only way out of
Discipline
this,
and
or we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline and respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Stephen.
Hillary,
Stephen?
you give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Now that right there,
Now, what was that though? Discipline or
he was
respect?
like, he's basically giving her the blueprint to how to fix this.
Yes.
And instead of taking the blueprint, she said, then we're at an impasse.
Meaning she don't want to respect them.
She doesn't want to discipline. She don't want to be disciplined, and she don't want to respect them.
Actually, it's a little bit deeper than that. What he hinted at is a formula for reciprocity. He said discipline and respect. Well, the only way that works is if it's inherently mutual.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way that she could lose from a situation that has discipline and respect, because that would mean he would be bound to the same things that he would bind her to.
But that's just what it is, man. They don't understand. A lot of women do not understand what that means. It's like, I'm not just holding you accountable. I am asking you to give me the ability to hold myself accountable. All right. I can't, I'm not about to sit here and be the only one, respecting you and being disciplined, and you just sit on your phone all day. I'm not doing that, because that's just not fair to me in the relationship. I'm not going to do that, because I know what happens when people get away with whatever they want to get away with and continue getting away with it. They keep doing it. But if you're not going to reciprocate that, why should I be why should I be respectful to you and disciplined and do the right thing so you can sit on your butt and do nothing?
They want the benefits of a negotiation where they don't have the leverage that they think that they have.
Mm.
And they're expecting a higher return than they have the leverage to demand.
What do you ladies think about it? We got ladies up here. Let's ask the ladies. What do you hear?
What's the question?
Because I can say, how do you feel about what Steven said about is discipline and respect, or are we at an impasse? Either you take, because you give up too easily. Wally P got Erica's bubble. She must have been on his computer.
Because when we logged on to the same account, it always changes my picture, man. And I'm like, yo, what the heck, man?
Looking good there, Wally P.
Look, I'm gonna just leave it as it is for right there for now.
Oh man, that look goofy as heck, bro. Like this big ass masculine voice coming out of that feminine frame. But listen, what do you guys think about that? Like, do you hear what he's saying? How does that interpret to the women?
You know what? I'll go ahead and start. When I first thought about it, I had to think about it. I had to figure out, what was he asking for? He really is just asking for you to have self-control over yourself and your actions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you hear those two words, that's not what most people think. It is. It's basically, I want you to respect me. I want you to show some kind of respect.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be, oh, you're obedient to me. No, just treat me like a normal human being. Treat me like them friends you trying to go out there and see. Talk to me without screaming at me. Talk to me without, belittling me, because people don't see the other stuff that people do when doors are closed. She could be a meanie. She could be the one going, you know what? I ain't gonna go get you no steaks. You ain't gonna have them right now. Like, you don't know if that was the conversation or not. But my thing is, think about what he's asked for. He's, in my mind, it's something that's trivial. It's something that could have gotten done 2 seconds now. And like you said, yes, if he telling you, I'll send you an Uber, she could have did the same thing, said, hey, your steaks will be here in 22 minutes. Like, it reciprocates both ways. And I know it's not the fact of having the steaks. I felt like he just was at wit's end at that point. It was like, yo, I asked you for steaks. You knew I was, let's say he was traveling for work and said, hey, I'll be back on Thursday. I want steaks and a beer when I get in so I can fire up the grill. It could have been something that minute that got blown out of proportion, right, because of the lack of communication back and forth, because of what you asked me for wasn't a priority for me right now. And I think that's the other thing. People don't always see You're like, people will be like, hey, my partner's my partner, but sometimes you don't realize your partner's asking for little stuff because that's what's going to make that person happy at that time. So you're telling me you can have my steaks together, but now you don't want me to be able to go to the gym and go see my parents and all of this other stuff. Okay, fine. We go do the stuff together then. You want to go X, Y, and Z? How about we go together then? I get to go get my steaks. We get to go see my mom. You get to go see your friends. Problem solved. And I'm not saying it like that, but it's like in the heat of that argument, there was no let's find a resolution. She said they had an impasse. We had an impasse. That means you don't want to do the two things I'm asking you to do. That
Right.
means if you're not going to do the two things that I'm asking you to do, one of two things is going to happen. You either going to think about it and have a change of heart and come back and do the two things that I asked you to do, or in their case, they ended up getting a divorce.
Can
Yep.
I interject? Can I
Um,
interject? Can I
yeah, go
interject
ahead.
No.
just before you go
Go
through all
ahead,
your
Latoya.
Okay. Um, is do you want me to go? You messing with
Go
Wally
ahead.
now
I'm
since he
messing with Wally.
interrupted you. Yeah, you
all
messing
right,
with him.
all right.
Yeah, go
Nah,
ahead. It's okay, Wally.
the only thing I was gonna say to that was as eloquent as you made that delivery, Erica P, where I think a lot of men get frustrated is if a woman asks a man to do something, to do a task, and he doesn't do it, it's yo, I'm sorry, I forgot, I apologize, I'll handle it. But on the other foot, when you when you confront the woman and say, "Hey, how come X, Y, Z wasn't done?" It's just full of excuses. Oh, I didn't do it because of X, Y, Z, because of this, because of that, and it's like, okay, I understand, but I still ask. Just simply, I like a man will respect it if you just own up to it and say, "Yo, my bad, I forgot." And soon
That's
as you
true.
say that, it's like, okay, I can dig it. You had a lot on your plate. It is what it is. Let's go about resolving this. When you start getting the excuses of XYZ, XYZ to a man, that goes in one ear and out the other, because it's like we're held to that same standard where if you want something done, you don't want to hear excuses about it. You want it done like when rent is due. You don't want to hear, yo, I didn't do XYZ, or when the mortgage is due, you want it paid and handled right then and there. So men really don't like excuses. It's just fess up to it. And if that happens, I think a lot of problems would be solved. Like if like
It's
when he was talking to her and he's like, yo, discipline and what you gonna call it? If she would have been like, you know what, you're right, my bad. I have been XYZ, I think the conversation would have went in a whole different direction.
yeah. I was listening. I keep thinking about what he said. Like it might have seemed like way off to the left field and off kilter, but actually no, because right after the stakes, he's talking about respect. Right off the bat, he's talking about you don't respect me as a man. What is it respect for a man? And it may have come off as berating her and harassing her, et cetera, et cetera. But it does not sound to me that this is the first time they've had this conversation. So yes, it's like at his wits' end, since clearly there's been issues way before now, and you're not listening to that. Okay, fine. At the bare minimum, could you get my stakes? Because you didn't do XYZ. You're not carrying yourself out as a wife now. Like Gary, like you were saying, okay, whatever the expectations are, it doesn't seem to me that this is the first time he's tell her his expectations. And instead of owning up to it, like you said, Wally, and you know what? You're right. I fell off during this pregnancy. Whatever the accountability is, it was
Mhm.
I'll be back when I'll be back, and no, and not even taking the option of you're right. I didn't do it this way. It's well, we just gonna have to be at an impasse. Just because she didn't say it that way does not mean that that was not her intent. So when he said, and if you heard after that, he said, "You throw your hat, you give up so easily." It seems like she's real quick to run instead of dealing with it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
She don't want to
I
excellent
take
point.
accountability and she take off.
Excellent
uh,
point.
now
Mm.
if y'all would like, I can address the huge elephant in the room.
The belly.
That
Let's hear it.
huge elephant. So up to this point, well, I got to sit up for this one. So up to
Uh-oh.
this point, we can pretty much all agree that the things that this husband is looking for, they weren't unreasonable or irrational. Yes.
Right.
Right.
And what we have is a woman who has expressed a definitive desire to leave. Like she doesn't even want to entertain the conversation anymore at all. Now, this woman, she's pregnant. She's going through all sorts of hormonal changes. And I would presume one of those hormonal changes would be a heightened sense of sexuality.
Hmm.
So let's couple a potentially heightened sexuality along with her clearly dismissive attitudes and behaviors towards her husband.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I believe there may very well have been a side dude.
Oh, you thinking the
Because
same
where's she
thing, huh?
going? And where's
I
she
knew
going to
that.
be back when she be
Look,
back?
you
Yeah,
think you thinking
I
you
knew
thinking the same thing, right? Because
I knew that
I think we all thought the same thing. Because it's like
But
exactly.
nobody said it.
constantly trying to get away. Because this is not that is not the charge of the clip, right? We're
Yes.
looking at the argument. I didn't want to bring that up, but I felt the same exact thing. Like she wants to get the car. Why is he saying, look at how you box me in? So if you want to take the Uber, take the Uber. Why don't you want to? I can get arrangements for you to have a car. Just take an Uber, right? Because that can be tracked. You can't track the car. All right. You can track an Uber. You can track a friend, but you can't track the car. All right. Now, I was trying to stay away from that part.
Hmm.
I really was.
Hmm.
But dang it, it crossed my mind. I was like, this woman really trying real hard
She's trying really hard to
to get
leave with
away from
no
him.
clear destination, no apparent idea of when she's gonna be back. Nothing.
Why
Just
don't
this.
So
you
what?
want to get mistakes?
What
Why
did it?
don't you want to act like a wife?
What did it for me was I instantly knew it was a situation of infidelity or something when she said, "Who do you want me to call?" That's a telltale
That's what I
sign that
thought too.
the woman is basically saying, "Yeah, so you want me to take it there? Do
See
you
what
want me to take it there if you're not going to give me the car?"
you know what?
The reason why I'm thinking of it is because all the hostility of the way the conversation is going.
Now he did say there was no infidelity. I'm not sure if he's meaning that in general or just on his part, but he did say there's no infidelity. He just don't
Wait,
know why she
like
wants to get a
about this?
divorce.
Oh, okay. Because not
Right.
in the video. Oh,
This is
okay.
Now,
another.
now,
Yeah.
do
But
you think he's saying that as a means to protect her, or because
I think
us
he's
men?
saying that on the means of being a man. Like this is none of your business.
Exactly. That's what I'm
You know what I
saying.
mean?
Like,
Like
yeah,
so
don't.
I don't look at him like he's not gonna be like, he she cheated. No, he's not
Yeah,
gonna do
yeah.
that. You know what I mean? But
Not not putting your business out there.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was some infidelity there. You know,
Facts.
we're talking
Facts.
about the Steven Crowder video right now. What's up, man?
okay. So
Tawana.
Tawana, what's going on, baby girl?
So I was also going to say too, you got to think about it. When a woman is pregnant, all of her emotions and everything are still heightened too. So I will tell you, when you go to these doctor's appointments, they're going to tell you don't make no rash decisions because what you thinking in your pregnancy may not be correct. So,
Mhm.
and I think that's another thing. Like we don't always look at that aspect of, hey, did
Better
she
make that
feel
money, baby. Better make that
it?
money. Go get that bread.
I'm like, you got to think about it. You be like, do you are your emotions in check right now? Because it
Mhm.
could have been a trivial argument, and in her head, it's World War III going on. Like you
Yeah.
also don't know that either. So, and I
Mhm.
think that's the other thing. It's like, okay, you're having this argument. I need you to go sit down. I need you to go relax. I need you to take a break. I need you to think about what you're saying. Because think about it. The husband ain't pregnant. He gonna remember all of this stuff. He might be
Every
an
last
elephant.
word.
He might be an elephant and remember every single word. He gonna throw all of that right back at you if you don't go sit down and take a break for a second. And that I'll be back when I be back. It's not a I need to control you all the time. It's you 8 months pregnant. I need to make sure you ain't going labor somewhere. Like go sit down.
Ooh, don't talk about. You're not talking about protection, are you? Ooh,
Nah, you can't talk about that. Not in this day and
ooh,
age.
ooh.
Women got agency. You know what I'm saying? They got those things on the side of their hip now. They put in their purse sometimes, but
Ooh,
they can do it all by themselves. They don't need a
ooh.
man's protection unless, of
That
course,
sounds like
somebody's walking
protection
around with a
for a
brick.
second there.
Then they might need your protection. But other than the
Ooh,
brick, they don't need your protection. Or if you might be on a train getting
ooh.
mugged by a crazy person. But then other than that, they don't need protection. Or might be getting the R word on a train by another person. But they don't
In
want
a
your
ditch
protection other
somewhere.
than that. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? Like they
ooh,
don't really need your protection unless they need your protection. You understand me? This is how
ooh.
it is out here. It's ridiculous, man. We can't
Can I,
even say, yo, I want to know when my wife is taking my baby. That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I would like to know why you going, you know what I'm saying? And it sends you out, give me these steaks.
And why is it
look?
so important that it happens right now? Like it's the difference if people are like, yo, we plan to go out, they plan something, I need to go. That's something completely different. I don't even think he would have had an issue if you had that conversation.
Let's just
But
be real. I don't think it had any. Look, I mean, I don't know these people. This is Steven Crowder, whatever the case. I'm sure that they could have, you know, ordered the steaks and had them come to the house. It wasn't a big deal
Man
as
is
far as
loaded.
the
There's no
food.
reason why he look.
That
The man
that
makes a lot
wasn't
of money.
it. It was the gesture. It was
It was the
um
principle of the
a
fact that was
principle. Yeah, it was like, a Hail Mary, so to speak. Are you willing to do at least this? That man could have got in the car and got his own steaks. They could have ordered it, had a whole gourmet chef come cook the food for them. It wasn't about that,
Nah,
because
nah,
he immediately went into art. What do you respect as a man? What do you call respect as a man? And then he goes into discipline and all of these things. So it wasn't about the steak. Clearly, they've
right.
had this conversation before, and here she keeps going and going to escape, and she ready to leave and come back when she comes back, and all of this foolishness.
think about
Right,
it.
right,
She's dodging the questions.
Yep.
That's realistically what she's
Right?
doing.
Yes.
She's
right. He,
escaping.
he he's trying to have the negotiation, and she is shutting down all the talks.
Every ounce of it. Every ounce of it. She
And the
will
thing
not.
is,
She says it. I am not going to engage you, Stephen. I am not going to engage you, which pisses men off because
and
it's like the engagement is what's necessary because we're going to have this problem again. We're going to
and
have it again, and I don't want to have this problem anymore.
this is the crazy thing. As fed up and as annoying a man can be, in his heart of hearts, he'll still trying to find a way to find a resolution for
Yes.
said problem. Because
Yes.
they had this conversation many times, and it seems like she wasn't entertaining it, but just for her simply wanting to use the car made him find a way to bring up these conversations again because he's that unhappy about the situation, but want to find a resolution and keep fighting to make things better. That's the thing that people don't see.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Steven, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it. Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit, okay? I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And the fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no. But I love you more than life itself. Okay. Put on some gloves. No. But I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right. We're at an impasse. Become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife. No, not as a wife. I didn't say as a wife.
As a wife.
Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need. I love you. I'm committed to you.
Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to you. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves.
I need
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed to do anything? I'm good.
Wait,
Walk the dog. Put on some gloves. Are you
wait,
committed enough
wait.
to get the medication?
Hold up. All this bullshit is over walking some dogs?
I just did a whole 360 too, because I'm looking at this like, wait, what?
Wait, put on so hold up. So put on some gloves to pick up the dog shit?
Probably.
She
Who dogs are these? Because I'm about ready to give them back. You be like,
just
they
divorce
gotta
the
go. I'm
woman,
sorry.
file for custody of the child, and just toss the whole woman. Just my Lord in heaven. Over walking dog. Picking up, putting on gloves to pick up the dog droppings.
Oh man.
You know, we actually live in an age where you can go on one of these websites like Temu or Amazon and order a damn poop scooper.
Oh, watch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I think it was way bigger than that. He's like, you're not committed to anything. You have to listen. Like what he's saying is like, you're not
Yeah.
committed. Are you committed to this? You're not committed to. You're
Yeah.
not committed to anything. Like
I
he
think
can't
that's
hold her feet to the fire for anything.
there you go. I think
Yeah, exactly.
this was literally
But
a
but
Hail
good.
Mary, do something. Just do something.
But
I
my
don't care
God,
what it is.
not see this is the issue. We live in an environment where our modern ladies will have all these requirements of the men, and they will pretend to have this extremely generous, locked in type of romantic love for these men, saying, "Oh, I love you. I'll do anything for you. I love you. I'll do anything for you. Make me a sandwich." Oh no, that's slavery.
That's
Pick up the dog crap. That's slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Make up the bed. Oh, that's slavery. Okay, wash some clothes. Oh, that's slavery. I'm sorry, but at some point, if the words don't have actions that match them, then the words are just empty. And that's all he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
Love
don't
is
feel love
love.
because like you don't respect me, you don't carry out any of the things that I ask you to do. Like I don't feel it. He's telling you, I don't feel love.
okay. And then the other thing, because I had to Google her because I didn't know who she was.
Oh, here you go with your Google.
Oh, of course. So, did you guys know that she's the vice president of sales and marketing of a furniture company? Did y'all know that?
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
No.
What is
So,
your point?
her net worth 3.2 mil. Maybe she thinks some things might be
It's
underneath her.
beneath
too.
her. It's beneath her.
It might be beneath her. Because think about it. She said we had an impasse. She really is not looking at him as sole beneficiary or sole, at his household either. So he may be demanding things like respect and discipline. And maybe she's looking at him like, maybe I don't respect you, or maybe I don't want to have discipline because we don't know what their internal household struggle might be. Don't know. I looked at his net worth. His net worth a little different too. Like they got decent net worth combined, but she also got her own too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get certain women and they feel like you beneath them, or you married them for the come up,
Or they're equal.
or we're equal, then she, in her mind, she probably told you to go get your own stuff too. And I guarantee that the car with the keys, I don't know. I feel like they would have had more than just one car.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe,
would thought that too.
But yeah, but
but think about it. A
that
car could
that
be in a
that
shop, a car
that
could be total. It could be some
nah
other
that
issues with that.
I don't believe that dynamic of, hey, I think we're equals and this, that, and the third, because if that was the case, like you said, they would have had multiple cars and wouldn't have been a thing. If that was the case, she would have been like, I'm gonna take the Uber because I'm gonna take a Uber or whatever the case may be. She would have been offering these things on her expense. And that's not what was happening. Now, can that net worth that you're looking at is post that video?
I
or
don't
is
know.
it prior? You get what I'm saying? So you could look that up. And again, we got to stop looking at this net worth thing, because this net worth does not mean that they have this money sitting in their account.
Right.
It's
True.
You get
but
what
it's
I'm
not.
saying?
I wasn't looking at it like that. I was looking at it as, hey, that could have brought a different dynamic
No,
to the
no,
You,
circle.
Not
she was looking
really,
at the
because
actual possible power dynamic within their relationship itself,
Mhm.
and that may very well be. But like my man here said, there's
he
so
was
much
at the
other context
studio and he just
that
got
comes into
back.
place. You know, the image or perception I'm kind of given having watched this video is that they have a habit of sharing a vehicle together. Maybe because she's pregnant, that they go to places at the same time so that he can provide for her and give her this protection that is outside of just money. He's given his presence, his time, so they typically go to places together. Because he didn't say he would. He didn't say she couldn't come along for the ride to the grocer. He never said that.
Mhm.
It seems like she just wanted distance and space from him for whatever reason.
Mhm.
And it seems like that reason was just to avoid the conversation itself. The same conversation that one way or another still has to be had.
Yep.
Yep.
At
Especially
best,
when
all
you
she
have
was gonna do is put it off to another time.
and that's what and I would admit it. Read the first comment. Hold on. One
That
of
one.
their dogs had just had just
Just had
had
surgery.
surgery, and the medication was not agreeable with the pregnant woman to use without gloves. She was supposed to have already put the medication on the dog and walked them, and he
Oh,
just got home from work. So that was the argument.
oh, so she didn't honor her commitment.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh,
And back to what he said, you're not even doing wifely things. You're not doing what I asked you to. Like you said, you're not honoring the commitment. At bare minimum, why didn't you do this before he got home? Like you said, Jibby, he was working, he got home. Where's his steak?
And
Right.
Where,
and that
Yeah,
that
what,
but even if
and
look,
that's
think
the
about it.
thing.
Even if
And
it
that's
wasn't
the
even just
thing.
a steak, you didn't even. These dogs is
do what you
ours.
said.
These
Yeah,
dogs
the
is like
dogs.
I'm like these are our dogs together. They part of the family.
And
That
you about to
meant
have his baby? Come on.
Which makes me believe that
set of twins,
her
not even just
her
a baby, set of
her
twins.
Oh,
her 3.5 million that she's worth or whatever has absolutely nothing to do with the equation of I feel like these tasks are beneath me, because you can feel that way towards a dude. I feel we're on equal footing, but people will go out their way for pets.
Yep.
So
and,
this is
and
has absolutely nothing to do with I feel we're on
I don't
equal
know.
level.
I mean, I've
I
seen a lot of depressed women. They will not take care of themselves. They will not take care of their pets. They will not take care of their kids. I've seen it happen a lot. So maybe she can be going through some emotional issues right now.
to
But
do the
this,
bare
I
minimum,
Correct.
bare minimum,
Yes,
bare
yes.
minimum.
Do
well,
you not
well, well,
understand? People
well,
can have postpartum
depression can.
before having a kid.
But
well,
this
wait.
this seems
Let,
like this was going on for the longest.
let me be the devil's advocate for a second.
Okay.
Let's just roll with her for a second that she just didn't do these things. She didn't put the medication on the dog. She didn't get the man his steaks. There was something wrong with her picking up the phone and telling this man this, calling him or texting him and telling him that she didn't do it beforehand. Because it seems like she just let this man come home expecting these things to get done, and surprise, ain't a damn thing done.
Oopsies.
Oops.
But you're willing to do it now with taking the car.
Well,
because he's
right.
back now and the car's back.
I was about to say he back and the car is available.
Come
Now
on,
I gotta
man. Oh,
run.
come on. If it that's why I'm like that power. Nah,
Well,
I'm
no,
just not
no,
buying
no, no,
it.
no. The car had to be there. The car had to be there
Of course.
because how
And
was
now,
how was she gonna go to the store without the car? So the car was there. She must have dropped him off.
I was thinking that. I was like, wait, she probably had the car the whole time. If he's telling her, nah, I need the car. It didn't dawn on me till you said that. It didn't dawn on me
I'm
till
telling you,
you said it.
these people tell on themselves.
yeah.
They tell on themselves.
Damn, you good. I didn't know you was this good, bruh. Like, I didn't know. I never thought of that.
Yep.
Huh.
I told you, brother. Look, that's why they
it
call
was
me
Think about it.
360,
wait,
brother.
JP said
but
he was at the studio, so that meant he was probably at the studio for quite a few hours. So it's not like, hey, I was going for 30 minutes and you good.
no, when you go to the
No.
studio, it's an all day thing, bro.
Oh
Correct.
It's an
yeah.
all
And
day
like I
thing.
Facts.
said, the only thing
Facts.
you could have, the only thing that probably would have been saving grace is if you sent them a message to be like, you know what, babe, I was out of it today.
Yes.
I just couldn't get to it. Because but you also do have men who will be like, yo, you ain't got nothing else but you stay home all day. You ain't got nothing but time. So you should have tried to prioritize that little 30 minutes to take these dogs on a walk and put the medicine on them.
Mhm.
You could have did that. I'm
She
not
didn't
saying
do it
that don't
because she just
happen.
didn't want to do it.
Nah,
Yeah,
she definitely didn't
if
want
she
to do it.
wanted to do it, she would have done it.
She didn't want to do it, and he was home. Well, you go ahead and do it. You know what I mean? Like, I was seeing another clip where a woman was complaining that her husband was home on a Saturday from off on work, and he was outside mowing the lawn, and she was like, "Why can't you just like stay in here with me and the kids and
I
maybe
remember
change a
that.
diaper?" And I was like, "Oh, that's what you really want. You want a break. It's not that you're longing for your man. You want a break."
But my thing is, if that's what you really want, be vocal about it.
Just say it.
But
Babe,
why
I
would you?
need a
But
break.
hold on. But women got this goofy thing like they think we supposed to know. He's doing the right thing by mowing the lawn, right? He's supposed to mow the lawn, all right? HOAs, they don't play that game. They will fine you.
Nope.
So he's supposed to
Nope.
do his job, right? So he's mowing the lawn. You're not gonna mow the lawn. What I know you can do is change a diaper. So I'm gonna mow the lawn so you can change the diapers. But she wants him to change the diaper. Why can't you just pay somebody to do the lawn so you can change the diapers?
See, the person in my head is like, how much is it going to cost me to pay somebody to go do something that you go outside and do? Is it going to cost me $25? All right, I might pay that. If it's going to cost me $250, we might have a problem because that $250 could have bought 6
A
boxes
lot
of
of stuff.
Pampers and 3 white. Like, y'all know my brain calculates these numbers in my head. So I'm
Right.
like, it's a give and take when it comes to certain things like that.
Yep. So 3
Yeah,
million.
but as you mentioned before, when it comes to this particular couple, they don't have to fight to make ends meet. Like
No,
Eddie Murphy said,
exactly. They
ends are
growing
meeting
it.
like a mother.
So why in the world are
It's, you know what? It's with
Well-
them, I felt like,
oh, it's over. It's over.
yeah, I was gonna say that was in that video, but looking at the dynamic, it's how were you raised? If I was raised where a wife does this, and this, that meant y'all dated long enough to know what the expectation was, and y'all were married long enough to know this is what the expectation was. They were married, what, 9-10 years? So it's
Mhm.
not like it was just something that floated in on day 3 and now y'all arguing. This
Mhm.
is something that built over time. Y'all struggled
Yeah.
together, y'all earned together. Then one or two things happen. Yes, you got some health issues. You had some, you had a kid in between. Like those things happen. And I feel like with couples that don't pivot well together, it ultimately is one of them rungs on that ladder going, all right, you going to the left instead of to the right, or starting to figure it out together. When that communication breakdown, that's where the lax is going to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, because we heard that woman come on and use this as a means to detract women from getting married, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
But even if women came and looked at this video, how many of them would actually break it down the way we all sat
None
down
of them.
and broke
I would.
No.
everything down?
I wouldn't believe that, and not one of them
You
would
get
do
what I'm
that.
saying? And
No.
they would just look at that and just be like, "Oh yeah, she's right. I'm not getting married," because they would just look at the pregnant woman as the victim. They wouldn't look at a 360 angle, 360 smooth angle, like I did that there.
Mhm.
But yeah, they
No, I
wouldn't
don't.
look
That
at
was
it.
so like that was like I'm like, ew, no. bad. That's horrible.
Only you would be the party pooper. But anyway,
Yeah, it was
just messed
Party
good.
up my he
pooper.
just messed up my flex, man. But anyway,
You
yeah.
messed up
But
mine earlier. What you mean?
so payback. That's what we doing. Tick for tack
Yes.
now.
Yes. I'm petty.
All right, Petty Roosevelt.
Petty Roosevelt.
You
Where'd
Petty
you get that
Roosevelt.
from?
I'm Petty LaBelle. There we go.
Petty LaBelle. So
But
I'm the man in
but
this
yeah,
situation, huh?
it is what it is. In today's time, that's all good, brother.
No, it's not. No, whoa. You
Yeah,
supposed to push back hard on that one.
the way society's moving, hey, I might get another extra 1,000 subscribers. Who knows?
You might be right though.
But
You might be right.
yeah, but women won't look at it, in that fashion. They'll just look at it as, oh, the woman who made that viral video, whatever, she was right. I see what she's talking about. I'm done.
And the sad thing is like I said earlier, these women would take it for granted that just because some of these women are married, that apparently they're traditional. Just because a woman is married doesn't mean that she's a traditional woman.
Not even close.
So when they make these arguments about being in a traditional relationship or being a traditional woman, they don't even know what they're talking about. They're talking about women who just happen to be married and going through these particular issues that they may or may not actually want to deal with. But that doesn't mean that they're actually in a traditional relationship. Here it is. This man, by far, he could not be considered a traditional husband for the simple fact that he's even giving this woman this much leeway per se to even have this bullshit conversation, 9-10 years down the line in their relationship, as opposed to kind of cutting this to the quick early on. Because traditional women, they don't put themselves in situations like this. Traditional women behave in a much different pattern than what that woman did in that video, pregnant or otherwise.
And you know what? If that woman was doing everything that was traditional,
They wouldn't even have
that
conversation, to
dude,
be
that dude would have been like, if she even had a thought of walking to the grocery store, that dude would have blacked out. Like, you better take these car keys. You better take these car keys and go to the store. Like, you better
Bruh,
walk that dog on a leash while you in the car.
You'll have a dog walker, a lady with the lotion thing on the pack to make sure that the dry skin ain't dry on the dog.
Yep.
You will have groceries delivered to your house, all kinds of stuff. You don't trust me when I tell you, when you got a woman that is really traditional, I'm not going to speak for all men. Let me say that. I'm gonna speak for me. Okay, I don't want you to lift a finger. You know what I mean? Once we get to that point, I don't want you to lift a finger. All right. We making over $6 million together. I don't want you to lift nothing.
Yep.
But if you are one of those, progressive women that just don't want to do anything, like, no, then do what you want to do. I'm not even going to even think to do anything for you because you're a progressive woman. You don't need me like that. Remember? So I don't want but these are the things that I need, get this done, get that done. Yep. But it seems like she might be more married to her job than she is to Steven.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a power struggle going on there. Definitely.
Yeah, but it's not even just the job. In my head, it may be friends' influence as well.
Yes.
Because think about it.
You can't let him talk to you like that. You can't let him do it. Your friends would destroy your relationship in a heartbeat.
Yep,
friends and side ninjas.
Yeah.
Oh, side ninjas, bruh.
That's why it's good to keep your business private.
Keep them out your business. Yep.
But I think that's it for the rest of. Oh, I have one more clip. We can go ahead and look at this clip.
Oh, and I got a clip too. I got a clip for you too.
All right, put that up while I'm putting this in.
I was scrolling through TikTok when I came across this account. I believe it's SDC Williams. And she's under fire right now and getting a lot of hate, mean comments, and criticism because she has decided to choose being a traditional wife and homemaker. Apparently, there's a lot of people who are upset and triggered by this woman and are like just dragging her for just doing things that a stay at home wife would do. And honestly, I really don't get it. First of all, it's nobody's business what this woman does with her life. It's nobody's business what her and her husband do with her life. Ain't nobody's business, okay? That's something that's between him and her and whatever that they're doing. And as long as everyone is treating each other with respect and is being healthy, I don't think that's a problem. People are taking what she's doing and I feel like they're just twisting it into all these like weird things, like they're saying that she's not a feminist or against women or whatever. Listen. People live their lives differently. And that's okay. That's what makes this country great. That's what makes this world great, okay? There are some people who do monogamy. There's people who do other stuff, polyamorous, whatever. There's people who do traditional. My thing with people is I don't understand why we can't respect people's preferences. I don't understand why we can't be tolerant of people's preferences, okay? If this woman wants to be a traditional housewife and that's what makes her fucking happy, let the woman fucking make an apple pie. Like, are you gonna eat it? Is she making it for you? No. So don't fucking worry about it. This woman has the right to do what she wants to do. This woman has the right to be happy. The same right that you have, the same right
Yep.
that anybody else in the comments, the same right that her haters have, they have the right. Go be happy. Live your life the way that you want to live it and let other people do their thing.
If that's what makes that woman happy, and it's working for her,
It's
let her do her
working
thing.
for her. But see, here's the thing. If you look at this woman, just take one big old look at her, and you'll see why the whole internet is in uproar. It's
Yeah, of
not
course.
because she's a traditional wife. She's a traditional wife that looks like that.
Yes.
Okay. That's why so many women are in uproar. They're
See,
mad because nobody's picking their fat, ugly behinds. That's what it is. That's the issue. It got nothing. When you see Shoe on Head, right? And you watch her video, she comes up with a bunch of comments of people talking about this woman's breast side. Oh, you got these fake breasts and all this other. Why are you talking about her boobies?
body shaming.
They body shaming this woman for looking good for her husband. Listen, you go to work looking good for your boss. You go outside to the club to look good for the freaking bartender and your friends. Come home, put rollers in your hair, and look like trash to me.
But
Not me,
but
because on the whatever woman. You get
but
what I'm
let me
saying.
ask you this:
Point is,
what segment of women are actually doing that bashing? What segment of women? Because
uh,
that's going to be the key.
I would think that they're the feminist women that's doing that. Yeah.
I'm
I,
inclined to
I,
agree with you.
I don't always think it's
I would
always
think.
just the feminist
I
women.
think it.
I
I think
feel like it's the ones that get over that 25 who aren't married, and then they starting to be like, oh, but no. So I think it's that generation. It's that over 25 who haven't figured out what they wanted out of life yet, who haven't figured out how to get a person that wants to build a future with them, and then they get mad.
I
See,
I,
think it's the
I,
disgruntled
I think.
women.
I think it's the pretty privileged women, because the pretty privileged women don't like. They think they can get by on looks, period, and don't have to do all these things. They're like, "Yo, my looks should grant me all these things
I
with
think it's a
very little
mixture of
effort."
both. I think it's a mixture of all of them.
Yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
just women in general at home staring out their window, raindrops falling on the windshield, and they just like, why ain't my man coming for me? You know what I mean? I think it's a whole lot of women that's just bitter. They're
Yeah, I
see,
think
bitter.
it's
see,
bitter,
see,
disgruntled women who maybe are either divorced or there is no man, a prospect in sight, and hating and very miserable and disgruntled.
see.
Or the men, or the guys they're dealing with just see him as a plaything.
Because a
Now,
lot of
There's
them
no
are. Let's
now,
be
option for,
real.
yeah,
A
there's
lot
no
of them
now,
option
are.
for them to be her.
now, let me show y'all something. What if I told y'all that you were all wrong on this one?
We
What
could
if, what
be.
if I,
I will
Okay.
throw you away if you said that.
what if I told you that it's actually the women who constitute the average majority?
Hmm.
Because women who truly have pretty privilege, those men do not
Emotional
give a
labor? What is
damn,
emotional labor?
huh?
On Rumble, somebody said that's emotional labor. Please tell me what that means. Emotional labor. I don't know what that means. Continue.
Well, it's the ones who actually lack the pretty privilege who are squawking the most. Because the women
You
who
think
have
so?
the women who do have true pretty privilege, the men just want them. And the men who want them, they want them at whatever cost it takes to get them. Those
Correct.
men don't
You
necessarily care if those women are traditional, in between, whatever, as long as they have access to them. Why? Because they are just that pretty.
Mm-hmm.
you really
Those are the
think
women that
so?
you. Those are the women that you see in the magazines and the models. Those are the women who are the
They ain't
most.
got time to be hating on another woman. They too busy having
Yeah.
fun.
Exactly.
Nah,
So they
I
don't.
gotta give
So
I gotta give pushback on that one.
hold up. Let me bring
Yeah.
it back down. Let me show you. Like I said, it's the women who have the pretty privilege. Those women don't have these issues because the men just want them.
Hmm.
Those type of men, if they want that woman bad enough, they will soldier through whatever. A good example is Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre had one of those pretty privileged women, and
Hmm.
it didn't work out well for him. She still wound up divorcing him and trying to take a bunch of his money, but he still wanted her all the same because of that pretty privilege that she had. See, these women who are squawking about these traditional women and even ones like that, they are upset because the men that they want, they are nowhere near the level of being able to attract those men in the first place.
You're right about that.
So they have no choice but to settle for the other type of men who are beneath that level. And that would be typically the type of men that you will find in their college classrooms. Those type of men that they see as lame while they're studying, but then later on they wind up becoming the doctors and the lawyers, and then they try to attract those men's attention. However, now they're starting to lose the attention of those men because those men realize that because of their station, because of their position as doctors, lawyers, or businessmen, that it puts them in higher demand.
Hmm.
So those men realize they don't have to settle for these substandard women. So they push on. That's why you see the same class of women many times often have degrees. Those would be the women who continuously complain about having to settle for men who are beneath their level. Well, why would you have to settle for a man beneath your level? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because the men on your level ain't checking for you like that.
Like that
Right.
lady in the first
Okay,
video.
okay,
Yep.
okay,
Right.
yeah,
Like that
yeah.
You
other
got a
woman.
point.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
mean, when you look at the comparison and the mindset, yeah, we're not checking for those women. You're absolutely right.
So by all rights, as beautiful as that woman was in the video, she would still be typically considered somewhat average because even she does not fit that historical archetype of what this country has designated as being the standard of beauty. She would still be considered by some people as obese, even though to us she seems pretty normal. But then again, our
What?
normal, our normal has been
Mm.
generalized to include that which would typically include the obese.
She's obese.
By,
She,
by
she
according,
by
according
standards,
to
she
the
ain't that 4 that 6.
Mm.
She wasn't.
according to our unspoken national standard, at best she might be a 6 or a 7.
Wow.
Yeah, they would call her plus size. It's
Because
it's
because
it's it's off.
she certainly ain't no Kelly Rowland. She certainly ain't no Charlize Theron. She's what's the lady that played Wonder Woman? I forget her name. Something with a G. She's not on her level.
Mm-hmm.
See,
So by the national standard, even though that woman doesn't necessarily fit the prototypical beauty standard, she's still much more attractive than the lion's share of the average American woman. So
Mm.
these women would be damned if they let a woman that they consider on their level tell them that she's better than them simply because of something that is strictly behavioral as opposed to the aesthetic. Because these women, they'll sit there, they'll get their BBLs, they'll get their breast enhancements, they'll get collagen all in their faces to make their lips all thick. They will wear those ridiculous eyelashes. They will put on all these wigs. They will go through a whole litany of different things to make themselves look like women who naturally look like her.
Mm.
And that's the difference.
And
They
the
can't
crazy
compete
thing
with
is,
women like her.
but the crazy thing is, if they want to compete for men, work on being traditional, hone those skills. Because if you
There it
hone
That's
is.
those
the
skills,
point.
That's the great
that's
equalizer.
what
That's the point.
that's
It
what
will
men will look at.
listen. A drop dead gorgeous will still be stuck in the dating phase if she's not traditional. Okay, we
Facts.
don't marry for what is it? 304s. We don't marry
Yes.
304s.
Right.
We don't.
We like to
And I don't.
smash them,
Of
Of
course, that's
course.
what
Of
they're
course.
there for. You
but
know what I'm
that's it.
saying? Like, but I'm not going to marry something like that for just like the guy said in the Dale Dow said in on Rumble. He's basically saying that she waited 10 years for alimony and had the kids right around the 10-year mark so she can get the most out of him. Okay, so
You have some people that play the long game. I'm not
Yeah.
saying people don't do it. You do. You have people that play that long odds game. They trying to make sure that even if they decide that this ain't working for them, they still stacking the deck against them. But
oh my God, if some wow.
what happened?
Mm. Nothing. I'm just nothing. Go ahead.
But what I was gonna say is you have people that do it all the time. They may
Yeah.
not think that's what they're doing. You have some women that they're trained to do that. They were raised like that. And I'm not saying it is right or wrong, but you have some people who don't even realize that's what they're really truly doing because that's all they saw.
The, early on, Gary said that there's change in the air,
Yep.
and that there is. Because as much as these women have been doing these particular types of actions over the last 20 to maybe 30 some odd years, inadvertently they've been teaching men the game.
Mhm.
And now that's exactly what we're starting to see. Ask Mary J. Blige's ex-husband. Ask Halle Berry's ex-husband.
Oh, they getting slaughtered.
Yeah.
Ask
They getting
ask that
slaughtered.
ask that lady who got married to the soccer player who surprised the world and put all his stuff in his mama name.
Yes, I
Ooh.
remember that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw that one. I said, "Oh, that was real nice."
My
See,
true
She was
love.
about to get everything, and
see
it
the
was
la-
like,
Unconditional
see
love. Because
ladies,
mama will always love her baby.
the
Yeah.
Mama will
ladies have
always love
taught
her
the men
baby.
quite well. You have
Mhm.
never seen so many men get prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. That didn't just
Mhm.
come out of nowhere. We were taught this. Thank you,
Yep.
Yes.
ladies.
yeah. And a lot of
Because
times it was taught by their mamas or their grandmamas to protect
Mhm.
their interests,
No,
aka
Yep.
their child or their
Yep.
it
grandchild.
was
Oh
taught
yes.
by the basketball players. The
But
basketball
yeah,
players taught all this.
No,
That's
no,
what they did.
the basketball players didn't teach themselves. The women that were in the
Yep.
basketball players' lives taught them that.
That's that we learned from that.
yeah.
Is what I'm saying. We
That's what I'm
figured
yeah.
saying. You ladies have taught us well. Like that basketball player who tried to get married to this woman. He kept telling us sign a prenuptial agreement. She
out.
kept putting it off, putting it
And
off.
walked
She
away.
even went. She even got him to pay for the majority of the wedding and to fly out some special pastor that she has some affinity
Yeah.
for.
Yep.
That
And
was
then he tried to bullshit the player, and he didn't go for it. And all the way up to the wedding day itself, she still hadn't signed it, and then tried to play victim when this man said, "You know what? No go. We're not getting
Yep.
married."
that was
He can't.
that was
Yep, I saw that.
Jackson. I
He
forgot his
he
name. His
Yep.
canceled it
name is
right
Yep.
on that
Jackson.
same
Yep.
day.
Yep.
Jackson.
Yep. Oh my God. I
Steven
was so
Jackson. Steven
when I
Jackson.
yes,
That's
yes,
his
Thank
yes.
you,
name.
ladies.
When I saw
Thank you,
that
modern
video,
American women. You've taught
bruh,
us well.
when I saw that video, I was sitting on the edge of my seat, bruh. I remember that. I did 3 videos on that damn video.
Yeah.
Like, you guys don't understand how much this touches me that this man got out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
He was like, he was crying, and they were like, she ain't signed a prenup. She ain't signed a prenup. And it was
Yep.
like, if she signed it under emotional distress, it can be thrown out of court.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm glad he told that story because a lot of men would have cracked and just went
Mhm.
along with it. Like, you know
Yep.
Yeah.
what?
But they do.
I
People
already
do
went
all
this
the
far.
time.
It is what it
Mhm.
is. So
Yeah.
And
kudos to that brother.
like I said, the ladies have taught us well, and it's not one of those direct things. There's so many men who have gone through these types of experiences, and the men are being vocal about their experiences. That was the great shift with social media, because social media finally gave men a platform to express themselves, to have a voice where they truly didn't have one before. Where, in contrast to what popular belief is, the women were the ones who actually had platforms to express themselves. We didn't have that. If anything, all we had was just this one-sided barrage of women telling their stories, their war stories, their horror stories about their poor interactions with men. But we never got a chance to have the other side of the story. We never had a chance for men to tell their horror stories, their war stories. And now, because everything is made equal by their hand, no less, here we are. And we have learned. We've learned from men like Dr. Dre. We've learned from what Elon Musk. We've learned from
Mhm.
uh, who's the guy who used to own Amazon? Bezos. We learned from Bezos.
Bezos,
We
yeah.
learned from Bill Gates. We see that it doesn't matter how much money a man has. There's no guarantee that just because he gets married to any woman, that woman is going to be there for the long haul.
Right.
Any of these women may still just say, you know what, I'm unhappy, and just go for the hills.
Yep.
And let me give a PSA to like the women that they feel like, hey, I'm gonna get degrees and everything like that so that I could look for these higher caliber men. The thing with that, you either gotta date below you, someone who don't make the same amount of income as you, or you're gonna fall into a niche. What is that niche? The guys who were married and taken through the ringers from women, they don't want to experience that no more. So now they're more so looking for somebody who's on equal footing with them that makes high money because they know if something goes to the left, since they're on equal footing, they both can part ways equally. So you
Yep.
fall into a niche.
Do not
So
be unequal.
those are like your real only two
Your
options or
safeguards.
whatever.
But that
Yeah.
doesn't change that. Now, that doesn't change that a lot of women quit their career midway through because they don't want to do it anymore. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
just because you started off that way doesn't mean it's going to continue. But we have another clip from Wally
Oh,
P.
and this clip is just basically breaking down. Like if I had a record label, I would sign this woman just to put this straight on wax. And she's just basically trying to like keep these women with warped expectations who are like, yo, I want a dude that's gonna pay for everything and I get to sit on my butt, yada yada. Um, that's not the reality of the situation.
That's never the
This
reality.
is
I don't care
this
what you
is
think.
yep.
It's not
This is
reality.
what you should if you want to be happy, this is what you should be looking for.
Well,
Go
brother,
ahead.
before you start it, please let me say this one thing before you start.
Yeah.
So, to piggyback off of what you said, for the ladies who fall in that niche of women who are seeking these highly accomplished men, please understand those men. The key to getting access to men like that is actually being more feminine, more cooperative,
Facts.
not
Mm-hmm.
less.
Facts.
That
Facts.
that's the whole virtue. That's the only reason why a man would foreseeably seek out a woman who may very well be past her more fertile years compared to a
Facts.
woman, say, in her
You have to be
early 20s to early
sweet
30s.
as
That
pie.
that's the
Yep.
only that's the only leveling of the playing field. That's the only thing she can bring to a relationship. Her hopefully increased or refined femininity and cooperative nature, not a less one, or not being at the same level of general cooperativeness as say a significantly less mature woman. Oh no,
Mhm. Yeah.
he's looking for
Yeah.
the growth. If you
Yeah.
don't have it, good luck and Godspeed.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about that, Erica P?
And she also got to fit in that social circle too, because people
Ooh.
fail to
Oh
realize
yes.
if they're looking for you and you're older than that 20 to 30 range, you have to fit in. You have to be able to have those open conversations with his friends' wives, because people fail to realize that
Ooh.
too. They always bring in somebody who can't fit in with them, because if you want to be in that environment, you have to fit that upper echelon, because if not, they will eat you alive. They
And
will gladly do it.
you can't have been the community bicycle going around having sucked out half the neighborhood's ass. You can't be like Sukiana. You can't be that chick.
Oh my God.
They're not bringing her into that fold. I'm sorry.
No.
Sorry, not sorry. You
She's dead to right. She's dead to rights.
But think about it. That's like any basketball wife. If you're the wife, you in a group to yourself. If you decide, guess where you at? When they on the road, they got 40 of y'all coming up to the hotel because they know you a smash and dash. They know you're
Mhm.
gonna be replaced.
Mhm. Let's clip it.
You don't got to play the whole
Think you're
thing.
lonely now. If you think you're lonely now, girl, wait until the first. Girl, wait till that rent is due.
Mm.
You see, he was over there paying half the bills. And you was okay till you saw them hoes on Instagram said it wasn't cool. You said you'd rather be paying it by yourself than splitting it with a man. And guess what? I am the woman that will split it with a man. So now I'm just coming up with $850. Matter of fact, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with the other half, because I could blow it. And now you over there, you gotta come up with 2122 so you can take pictures saying you independent. If you think you're struggling now, you can get that though. Actually,
He said, "Wait until the first girl." If you think you're struggling now,
Yo, she need a record
wait
deal. Like,
until the first girl. Do, do, do,
Ooh.
do, do.
I like that. I like that.
good
I
way to end
loved
the
it.
show, right? Good
Hit me
way
with
to
the
end the
oh
show.
boy.
Okay.
She
Yeah.
hit it. Oh.
she said, if you think you're struggling now, I love it. Yo, she had the cover and everything.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. And she pulled out the best song for it. I love that song.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
that was that was a good one to go out with.
No
Listen,
Yes.
doubt.
Yes.
folks, I just want to say to everybody that showed up to the live, I want to say thank you all for coming. Thank you for those who came to be in the live. I just want to say thank you for the rewatch crew, for those who are going to be watching this on the way out. Thank you. Please hit those like buttons. Please, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing and put a comment in the comment section. This is Gary Lamb, Wally P, Erica P, and 360 Smooth saying good night. Oh, shoot. Now,